Welcome to Old Town Dubrovnik, Croatia. As major Game of Thrones fans, we spotted out all of the filming locations in the Dubrovnik area. When we got to Croatia, we were pretty happy to see that it looked very similar to the show. They didn't have to CGI much of it except for, of course, the castles and all that. But the first thing I would recommend is to walk the city walls. It's where we took most of these pictures. I think it cost under €10 about per person, and we took 3 hours with it. You can really take as much time as you want, but you'll see a lot of the iconic Game of Thrones scenes if you walk these walls. So I'm going to show you a map up here, and in the top left corner of it, I've circled Minceta Tower. That's our first stop. It's the House of the Undying in Game of Thrones. This was definitely one of my favorite locations that we visited because it was so lifelike to what it was in the show. They didn't change a thing. And when Jorah was running around looking for Khaleesi, I don't think he noticed, but there was a big open door. You can actually go inside Minceta Tower, climb up top. They didn't film any scenes up top, but you can get some pretty awesome views of the city. Continue to walk the city walls. You'll get tons of great pictures of the rooftops, and you can even see Blackwater Bay, which we will come back to later once we're off the walls. Circled on the map here, I have St. Dominica Street. This was the Flea Bottom scene where Tyrion and Bronn stumble upon the guy who's preaching about King Joffrey not having a rightful claim to the throne. You may remember from season 2. This next map is showing us Pilegate as it's known in real life, or Mudgate as it's known in the show. This is the scene where the mob attacks Joffrey. I didn't get too much footage of it, but it's actually the main gate to Old Town Dubrovnik, so you will come right through here when you're visiting. You can't get directly here from the inside of Old City. You have to walk outside of Old City and then down behind some restaurants. There'll be signs pointing you out. Another really cool thing that we saw people doing was kayaking from this spot. They had a lot of kayak tours leaving from here, and then those kayak tours would circle the city, sometimes even circle the island, which is the one that we did. This wall here, there is a set of stairs that will lead you up to the fort that they filmed some more scenes in. There's Blackwater Bay. Go up the stairs behind and you can get up to that fort up there. They did a lot of scenes like the King's Tourney for Joffrey's name day. And then the scene where Cersei talks to Littlefinger about power. Location we spotted is about a 10-minute walk away from that fort. It's called Gradac Park, and it's where they filmed the Purple Wedding. Unfortunately, it's a kind of a bleak comparison as none of this was set up when we were there, obviously. But it was still pretty cool to be there, knowing that we were there where they were filming. My brother also spotted this point where the tree kind of intersects here as another conversation point for a few of the main characters. The next location we visited was an island, Lokrum Island, and what I circled there on the map is where you go to buy your boat ticket. I think most boat tickets, there's a lot of different companies. Most of them were under 10 euros, and they all take you out to Lokrum Island and back. Lokrum Island was a great place if you just want to hike, explore. Even if you're not a Game of Thrones fan, it was a pretty cool place to be. This is where they filmed Dany's walk up to the House of the Undying. It's called the Path of Paradise. The island also houses a few of the Karth filming locations, the greatest city that ever was or will be. We didn't have a third person, unfortunately, so we just managed with two to take some recreation pictures here. I'd say this trip was maybe one of the geekiest things I've ever done, but we loved it. We're huge Game of Thrones fans, and if you're watching this video, you probably are too. I would definitely recommend all of these locations visiting again for youth fans, as well as a few other things. Definitely check out kayaking and this last scene where we went up in the cable car and we got this amazing aerial view of the old city.